Good morning. My name is Cait. If you've never taken a class with me before, I'm here at the Tula studio and I will be guiding you through a all levels flow this morning. As always, if anything I cue up here does not feel good for your body, please feel free to skip it, to adjust, to modify. I encourage you to listen to your body and to take any movements that feel good for you and to skip anything that doesn't. To get started today, we'll find a comfortable seat. You can cross your legs. You can have your legs extended long, basically anything that feels good for just a couple of minutes while we connect with our breath. Once you find your comfortable seat, go ahead and close your eyes. Begin to connect with your breath. Inhales through the nostrils, following the breath as it travels down the back of the throat, to the chest, to the belly, and then back out the way that it came, leaving through the nostrils as well. As you begin to get settled here with your breath, I encourage you to relax your shoulders, let them melt down the spine, which will open the chest up a little bit. Gently pull the crown of your head towards the ceiling to find a little bit of length. You may find that it straightens your back a little bit. And then try to keep that length as you find the natural rhythm of your breath. We're just following the natural breath, not manipulating, not changing it. Observing how the breath feels as it goes in, how it feels as it leaves. Noticing maybe if the inhale is longer than the exhale, or the other way around. We'll be here for just a couple more moments. On your next inhale, take a really, really deep inhale, filling the lungs, the chest, the belly, all the way with air. And once you fill it up, pause at the top for just a moment before letting it all go. We'll do that 2 more times. Really deep inhale, pausing at the top. Exhale, let it go. One more time, deep inhale. Pausing at the top. Exhale, let it go. Keeping your eyes closed if it feels okay, begin to drop your chin towards your chest. Keeping your shoulders nice and heavy, nice and relaxed. And just notice any sensations down your spine. Slowly begin to bring your right ear towards your right shoulder, stretching through the left side of the neck. And then let's go ahead and bring our right hand on top of the head, fingertips probably just a couple of centimeters away from the left ear. And gently pulling the right ear down towards the shoulder to deepen the stretch. You can play with sending your inhales to the left side of the neck. Release your right hand back down to your knee, and then we'll rotate the chin back down towards the chest. Pausing for a moment just to notice any difference between the sides. And then slowly begin to bring your left ear towards your left shoulder. Stretching the right side of the neck this time. Both shoulders still heavy. And then you can bring your left hand to the top of your head, gently pressing down or weighing the head down just a little bit more to deepen the stretch. Again, maybe playing with your breath, sending the inhales to the right side of the neck, creating a little bit more space. Release the hand back down to the knee, and then bring the chin back down towards the chest. Bring the head back to center, crown of the head pulls toward the ceiling, and then slowly begin to drop the back of the head towards the back of the spine, opening through the throat or the front of the neck. And we'll be here for a couple of moments. I invite you to play with your jaw here, maybe making circles with your lower jaw. And bring the crown of the head back up to center. Then let's bring the chin back down towards the chest. And we'll go ahead and start making circles here. So we'll start by bringing the right ear towards the right shoulder, back of the head to back of spine, left ear to left shoulder, chin to chest. Do that 2 more times. Right ear to shoulder, back of head to spine, left ear to left shoulder, chin to chest. 1 more time, right ear to right shoulder, back of head to back of spine, left ear to left shoulder, chin to chest. We'll take some circles the other way, left ear to left shoulder, back of head to back of spine, right ear to right shoulder, chin to chest. 2 more circles this direction, left ear to left shoulder, back of head to back of spine, right ear to right shoulder, chin to chest. 1 more, left ear to left shoulder, back of head to back of spine, right ear to right shoulder, and then chin to chest. Let's bring the crown of the head back towards the ceiling, finding that nice and tall spine. And go ahead and open your eyes if they're not open already. We're just going to do a little bit of wrist and arm warm-ups. So go ahead and make a fist with both of your hands. Extend your arms out in front of you. And then just begin to make small, gentle circles with your wrists here. You can choose if you want them to go the same direction or opposite directions. Just take note of any crinkling or crackling, anything that feels sensitive. Let's go ahead and switch directions. Whichever direction you are going, just simply go the opposite. All right, let's release the hands. Shake out the arms for just a moment. And then let's bend the elbows, bring the fingertips to the shoulders. So the elbows are jutting out in front of you. And then just begin to make circles opposite directions with the elbows. So we're going to start really, really small, like the size of golf balls or baseballs. Keeping the fingertips on the shoulders, slowly start to make bigger circles. Really warming up the shoulders here. Getting the elbows as high as you can, as wide as you can. Come back to center, elbows out in front of you, fingertips still on the shoulders. Then we're going to switch, going opposite directions. So starting really small, and slowly making bigger circles. If you get tired, if your arms get sore, you can always take a break. Awesome, good work. All right, let's come back to center. Release the hands down to the knees. And then on the inhale up, sweep arms up, fingertips reach toward the ceiling. Exhale, we're going to twist to the left, so bring the right hand to the left knee. Left hand moves behind you. Inhale to find some length in the spine. Exhale to deepen the twist. We'll hold here in the twist for 2 more breaths. Maybe gazing beyond your left shoulder. On your next inhale, sweep arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale, fingertips come back down to the ground. Opposite direction. Inhale, sweep arms up. Exhale, twisting to the right. So this time bringing the left hand to the right knee. Right hand moves behind you. Inhale to find length in your spine. Exhale, twist, holding for 2 more breaths on this side. Gaze maybe moves beyond your right shoulder. 1 more breath. On the next inhale, sweep arms up, coming back through center. Exhale, hands come back down to the ground. Okay, let's do a little bit more of an arm warm up here. So we're going to extend the arms wide. Make sure you can see me. Make some fists with your hands. And then we're going to start with clockwise directions here. So little circles moving clockwise. Or whichever direction feels best for you. Start really small, making, again, golf balls or baseballs. And then slowly making bigger circles. If you ever get lost throughout class, you can always take a look at me up here on the screen. I will do my best to cue, but it's not always perfect. But I will guide you through and do it with you. Couple more big circles here, moving as big as feels comfortable for you. Just noticing any tenderness again in your arms, anything that feels a little bit stiff or inflexible. Release the hands back down to the ground. Just take a moment, shake it out. And then let's do it the opposite direction. So extending the arms again, fists as hands, and then switch directions of what you were doing before. Starting small. If your arms are sore, you can always take a break. These are kind of hard. A couple more big circles here. We're almost done. Release the hands down to the ground, shake them out. All right, one last thing on our seats here. So let's go ahead and clasp the hands together. Press your palms away from you, straightening the arms. And then slowly lift your arms above head, biceps coming towards your ears. Keeping your spine nice and tall. Tuck your belly button in towards your ribs to help protect towards your spine, to protect your lower back. And then you can bring your gaze up to your fingers if that feels okay, or just gaze straight ahead. We're going to hold here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Unclasp the hands, slowly bring your hands back down to the ground, and just take a moment to notice the sensations traveling down your arms, all the way down to your fingertips. Maybe it's warm, maybe it's cold. Okay, let's go ahead and find our tabletop. Wrists stacked underneath shoulders, knees stacked underneath hips. Tops of the feet are pressing into the mat. Just take a look back at your toes to make sure that they're in line with your knees rather than pigeon-toeing in. And we're going to find that nice and tall spine again. So bringing the belly button in towards the ribs. Take an inhale, pull the crown of the head away from the tailbone while pressing through the palms. Gaze is a couple of inches in front of your fingers. Okay, as we inhale, we're going to lower the belly, lift the gaze. Finding cow. Exhale, pressing through the palms, rounding the spine. Gaze moves down towards the ground or maybe towards your navel. Cat. Move through this a couple of times at your own pace, connecting the breath with the movement. You can take as big, exaggerated breaths as you'd like. Inhale on cow. Exhale, cat. We'll do 2 more rounds. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Bring the toes, the big toes to touch. You can separate your knees a little bit wider, maybe mat width distance apart. We're just going to press back to a child's pose. So the seat comes towards the heels. And you may even want to walk your hands out a couple more inches in front of you. Let the chest drape towards the ground. Maybe let the forehead come rest on the ground. And we'll be here for a couple of breaths. I invite you to send your inhales to the back of the spine, to the lower back, to the ribs. Creating lots of space. And then exhale, letting it go. I'll do 2 more breaths here, really deep inhale. Exhale, let it go. Inhale. Exhale, let it go. On the next inhale, slither forward again to your tabletop. Bring the knees back underneath your hips. Wrists under shoulders. Go ahead and tuck the toes. Lift the knees. Holding here in this funky plank for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Press back to down dog. Go ahead and pedal out your feet here. You can wag your tail, you can shake your head yes or no. Make this first down dog your own. Adding any movements that feel good, that help loosen your hamstrings or find length in your spine. On your next inhale, slither forward to high plank, shoulders come over wrists. Exhale, down dog. We're going to do that 2 more times. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, down dog. 1 more time. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, down dog. We're going to drop to the knees. And then we're going to do 3 modified chaturangas. So here in our tabletop, We're gonna walk the hands out a little bit so that it's a little bit wider between the wrists and the knees than in a normal tabletop. And then slither forward, bringing the shoulders beyond the wrists. We're just gonna bend the elbows a couple of inches, keeping the elbows tucked into the rib cage, keeping the core nice and strong. Exhale, lower down, modify chaturanga. Inhale, push back up to your tabletop. Exhale, modify chaturanga. Inhale, push back up. One more time. Exhale, modify chaturanga. Inhale, back up. And then we're going to lift the knees, press back to downward facing dog. If this is ever too much on your wrist, you can always take a break and come back to tabletop or push back to child's pose. All right, slither forward to your high plank again. Drop to the knees. Then we're going to lower all the way down to the belly. Untucking the back toes so that the tops of the feet are on the mat. We want to have the thighs sort of zipping in towards each other, kind of like you're squeezing a block between the legs. And then rotate the ankles and arches in towards each other. Keeping the wrists underneath the shoulders here. Elbows zipped into the rib cage. On the inhale, lift your chest, gaze forward, pressing through the belly, through the pelvis, through the tops of the feet. Holding here, baby cobra for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower all the way down. Your hands can move in front of you, making a pillow. Coming into crocodile, you can shift your hips from side to side. Okay, let's bring the hands back underneath the shoulders. Come to the fingertips, option to come to the fingertips or keep your palms on the ground, whichever feels best for you. The option to bring your hands to your fingertips. And then as you inhale, very gently, hardly pressing it all into the mat, come into a baby cobra. You can play with whether or not you can lift your fingers totally off the ground or keep them on there for a tiny bit of support, pressing into the lower belly, the pelvis, gazing forward, holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower all the way down, hands become a pillow again, crocodile. Bring your hands again underneath your shoulders. This time we're going to keep our face and chin pretty close to the ground. And we're just going to lift the back, we're going to lift the legs. So we're going to try to lift the tops of the feet off the mat, still squeezing that imaginary block between the legs. So lifting the feet off the mat, the shins, and then maybe the thighs as well. Pressing firmly into the lower belly and pelvis. Gaze forward just slightly, holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release the feet back down to the ground, crocodile, hands come in front of you, making that pillow. You can shake your hips from side to side. One last pose here on our belly. So we're gonna bring the arms behind, sort of sweeping them behind, fingertips reaching away, reaching away from your top, your head and your torso. Biceps, arms sort of zipped into the side body. Inhale, lift your chest off the ground. Opening through the chest, rolling the shoulders back. And then if it feels okay, you can also try to lift your feet and your thighs off the ground as well, coming into locust pose. Holding here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release all the way down. Your cheek can come down to the mat, or your hands can make a pillow in front of you. Just check in with your breath, with your heartbeat. Let's bring the hands again underneath the shoulders, tucking the back toes, press through tabletop, and then downward facing dog. Inhale, look between your hands. Slowly start to walk to the top of the mat, taking as many steps as you need. Inhale, hands come to shins. Flat back, pressing into the shins. Find some length in your spine here. Belly button in towards spine to help keep the back nice and straight. Then as you exhale, fold forward. Grab opposite elbows. You can have a bend in your knees here if you need to help with the hamstrings, and just sway from side to side here. Noticing if you can create any more space or length in your ribs and your spine. Let your torso be heavy, let the arms be heavy, let gravity do the work here to pull your torso, your head towards the ground. Release the elbows, and as you inhale, we're going to slowly sweep all the way up, coming to stand tall, fingertips reach towards ceiling. Exhale, hands come down to the sides. All right, sun salutation A. Whew. All right, inhale, sweep arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale to flat back. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to a high plank. Option to drop to your knees if you'd like. Slithering forward, and as you exhale, move through chaturanga or modified chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. We're going to hold here in down dog for 5 breaths. I invite you to find some stillness in this shape. Letting the head be heavy and letting the heels pull towards the ground. And again, you can always have that bend in the knees here. 3 more breaths. Biceps are rotating in towards each other. 1 more breath. Inhale, look between the hands. We're going to slowly walk the hands back towards the feet. Switching it up. Inhale, hands come to shins, flat back. Exhale, fold forward. This time, go ahead and grab your big toes with your peace fingers. Feet can be hip distance apart, maybe a tiny bit wider. You can play with it to see what feels best for you. And again, that bend of the knees is always helpful, especially if we need to bring the ground closer. So with grabbing a hold of the big toes with the peace fingers, go ahead and use that leverage to help pull the crown of your head closer to the ground. You can do that by pressing your big toe into your fingers as your fingers are pulling into your toes, creating that tension. 2 more breaths. Release the toes, and as you inhale, sweep arms up, reaching tall. Exhale, hands come down to the sides. Go ahead and walk back to the top of your mat. Feet are hip distance apart. Go ahead and start bending your knees, sinking your hips back, sweeping arms up, biceps towards ears. Chair pose. Kind of like you're holding a block or a ball between your hands. We're going to be here for 2 more breaths. Inhale. Exhale, maybe sink a little bit lower. One more breath, inhale. Exhale, sink a little bit lower. One more inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale to flat back. Exhale, fold forward. We're gonna step the right foot back. And then sweep arms up, inhale, high lunge. Activating really strongly through the front leg, the front quad. If you need to adjust your distance, it's totally fine. You want to have your knee over the top of the ankle or pretty close to it. And then just take a look back at your right leg to make sure that your heel is pointing straight behind you rather than veering off one way, inside or outside. And when you're ready, arms can sweep back up. Biceps coming towards the ears again. Fingertips reaching toward the sky. Activate through your core, belly button towards your spine. We're going to teeter forward, keeping the arms where they are. You may find that your back leg straightens a little bit. All right. Inhale, come all the way back up. Fingertips reach towards ceiling. And then exhale, cartwheel your hands down. Frame that front foot. Step back to high plank. Left foot meets right. And then we're going to have an option to move through a chaturanga. Option to skip and move straight to down dog. Slither forward beyond your high plank. Exhale, bend the elbows any amount. Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Okay, we're going to inhale, lift the right leg high to the sky. Exhale, step it through your hands, preparing for high lunge. Knee over the top of the right ankle. Back heel shooting out behind you. When you are ready, sweep arms up. Find your high lunge, activating through that front leg again. And if you need to adjust, if you need to grab a wall or a prop, that's always okay. Biceps towards the ears, gaze in front of you. Couple more breaths here. Fingertips are reaching toward the sky, keeping that length in the spine. Okay, activate through your core, belly button towards spine, keeping the arms where they are, that beach ball holding between your hands. Slowly begin to teeter forward over your high lunge. Take some core strength here, activating in the hamstrings and the quads. One more breath here. Inhale, come back up, arms reach toward the ceiling. And then exhale, cartwheel your hands down, frame the front foot. Step back to high plank, option for chaturanga or skip. Exhaling through chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Let's go ahead and draw to the knees, mat width distance apart. Sink the seat back, finding child's pose again. Taking a couple of breaths here just to reset. Checking in with your heartbeat. Okay, when you are ready, inhale, slither forward to your tabletop. Tuck the toes, lift the knees, send the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Gaze between the hands, step walk, hop to the top. Inhale, hands come to shins, flat back, pressing the shins to find that length. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, sweep arms up, bend the knees, chair pose. Holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, straighten the legs. Exhale, hands come down to the sides. Okay, we're gonna try that again, but with a one-legged balance added to it. So, inhale, sweep arms up, bend the knees, chair pose. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale to flat back. Exhale, stepping the left foot back this time, preparing for high lunge. You can adjust your distance as needed, inching one foot back or forward. When you're ready and stable, sweep arms up, finding your high lunge. Biceps come towards the ears. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, activating the core, belly button towards spine. Exhale, hinge forward. And then we're going to slowly bring the arms backwards, fingertips reaching away, biceps are zipping into your torso, your side body, your ribs. Option to stay here, or option to begin bringing your weight to your right foot. If you can kick off just a little bit, that's okay. If you want to try to hop a little bit forward, that's okay as well. Or you can straighten that front leg, keeping the arms zipped into the ribs, reaching fingertips backwards, finding a warrior 3. You can teeter your chest down a little bit towards the ground, finding a place to focus on. Awesome. All right, slowly and gently bring that left foot back down to the ground. Sweep arms up, high lunge. Exhale, fold forward, frame front foot. Step back to high plank. Option for chaturanga, or move straight to down dog. Inhaling, slithering forward. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Last little bit of hard stuff. Okay, we're gonna lift the left leg high to the sky. Step it through the hands, prepping for high lunge. Once you find your stability, sweep arms up. Keeping the biceps by the ears, gaze forward. Slowly start to teeter forward, activating through the core. And then bring the hands, the arms backwards, fingertips reaching away from the body, from the top part of the body. And again, option to start playing with bringing your weight to your left leg. So maybe just kicking a little bit off the ground with the right foot. Maybe kicking a little bit more. And eventually maybe straightening that front leg. Teetering the chest down towards the ground, keeping the back nice and strong, the core nice and strong. You may find a 90-degree angle between your legs and your torso. Fingertips still reaching back. Gently bring the right foot back down to the ground. Sweep arms up, high lunge. Exhale, plant hands, step back to high plank. Option for chaturanga, exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. then draw to your knees. Go back again to a child's pose. Seat toward heels. Yogi's choice this time. You could have a wide-legged child's pose or you can have your knees together. If you have your knees together, it's going to be a little bit more of a gentle compression on your organs. Going to be a little bit less space to breathe. Finding a shape of this that feels good for you. Each inhale, inviting space, inviting nourishment. Each exhale, an opportunity to let something go. Begin to walk the hands back towards the body. So we're going to try one last little tiny challenge today. We're going to try some Lolasana push-up type things. So here in our child, we're going to, in a hero's pose, sorry. So we're on our knees here, legs zipped together. And then we're going to plant the hands to the outside of the thighs, maybe a little bit towards the knees. We're just going to press into the mat and try to bring the knees up towards the body. We're going to do that 5 more times. So pressing into the mat, bringing the knees towards the chest. Do that 3 more times, bringing the knees towards the chest. 2 more times, knee to chest. And then knees to chest. Good work. Okay, we're going to swing the legs around. Finding a Dandasana pose. So legs are going to be extended long in front. You can remove any flesh underneath your sits bones to find a better connection and tilt the pelvis a little bit forward. Toes are pointing towards the ceiling. Bring the hands to the sides by the hips or by the upper thighs. Press into the mat, into the ground, and find a little bit of length in your spine, keeping the toes pointed towards the ceiling. Belly button tucks in towards spine. Chest is open, shoulders relaxed, gaze forward. Holding here for 3 more breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Try to find a little bit more length in the spine. Exhale. Try to keep that length. 1 more breath. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, sweep arms up, fingertips reach to ceiling. Exhale, fold forward, hinging at the hips, bringing the chest, the belly towards the thighs, towards the knees. You can grab a hold of anything that feels good here. So option 1, grabbing a hold of the thighs or the shins, the ankles, or bringing the hands to the ground, or maybe grabbing a hold of your big toes with your peace fingers. As with other forward folds, there's always the option to have a bend in your knees if you need. 3 more breaths here. Inhale, pulling the chest, the crown of the head forward. Exhale, hinging a little bit more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, walk your hands back towards your torso. Then we're going to bring the soles of the feet to meet, finding a Baddha Konasana or a butterfly pose, butterfly shape. Option to have some like pillows or blankets or blocks or anything underneath your knees if you need. If it's really intense, you can always bring your feet further away from your body. It'll lessen the intensity of the stretch. Soles of the feet are glued together. Let's just take a minute here to give our feet a little bit of a massage. Maybe in the arches, the ankles. Just making circular motions on the skin. Anywhere that you feel like your body needs a little bit of a massage. Okay, let's bring the hands to the ankles or to the knees. Inhale, pull the chest forward, find some length in the spine, and then as you exhale, hinge forward. Hinging until you can't hinge anymore at the hips, and then you can round your spine if it feels okay, bringing the head towards the feet. Your hands can do anything that feels comfortable, so maybe you walk them out a little bit more. Maybe you weave them underneath the butterfly legs, or maybe you keep them on the ankles or the feet. A couple more breaths here. Each exhale, maybe releasing, relaxing a little bit of tension in the lower back or in the muscles along the spine. Slowly start to come back up. And we're going to make our way to our backs. So slowly come to lay on your back, let the spine melt into the mat. We're going to bring the knees towards the chest, grabbing a hold of the tops of the knees or maybe the backs of the thighs. We'll just take a couple of breaths here, knees to chest. Noticing where the breath is going, noticing how the back feels. The spine feels. And then let's go ahead and extend the heels to the ceiling, straightening the legs. Hands can stay on the backs of the thighs for support. If you'd like to move to an actual wall, you're welcome to scooch to a wall and have your legs up it. Option to stay here or bring your hands down to the ground, letting the shoulders, the whole spine, and the lower back sink and melt into the mat. And then just notice any sensations traveling up and down your legs, your feet, your toes. You can close your eyes if it feels okay. Okay, let's bring the knees back in towards the chest, bending the knees. Bring the hands to the knees. Let's just make tiny little circles opposite direction here with the knees. Massaging the lower back. Take really slow and mindful movements here, taking note of anything that feels tender or sore. Switch directions with your circles. Come back through center. We're going to bring the soles of the feet to the mat, keeping the knees bent. Cross the right leg over the left. So maybe the knees are kind of stacking on top of each other, maybe they're not, just finding, depending on your hip flexibility. Option to stay here if this is enough for you, or bring both knees in towards your chest, finding a supine cow face. You can grab a hold of the knees here, or you can grab a hold of the shins. Be careful here not to apply too much pressure on the knees, but it's going to really dig into your piriformis muscles and your hip muscles. So find what intensity feels good for you. There's also the option to grab a hold of your ankles or your feet and use that tension to pull them closer, your knees closer to your body. If it's intense, if it feels like you're really stretching the piriformis muscle, go ahead and send your breath to that space where it feels intense. And see if you can help release any tension with the exhale. Release your legs. Bring the left sole of the foot down to the ground. We're going to bring the right ankle over top of the left thigh, or right at the top of the knee area. And we're going to slowly drape the right foot towards the ground. So coming into a figure 4 twist. If this doesn't feel good for your body, you have the option to take any twist that does. Whether it be both knees draping to one side or one leg draping to one side. When you find your twist, you can make your arms a T, taking up as much space as you need. Then you have the option here to prop your right knee up with your left hand to help maybe stretch the hip and the piriformis muscle in a different way. Staying connected to your breath. Come back through center. Bring both soles of the feet down to the ground. Let's go ahead and separate the feet to be mat width distance apart. And just drape one knee into the center. Then drape the other, so windshield wipering the knees here. Notice any difference between the sides. And then let's come back through center. Let's walk the feet in towards each other so they're about hip distance apart. Knees still bent, soles of the feet flat on the ground. Cross the left knee over the right. Option to stay here if this is enough of a stretch for you, or option to lift the right sole of the foot off the ground, bringing the knees towards the chest. And like on the other side, grab a hold of whatever feels good. So maybe it's the knees, maybe it's the shins, or maybe it's the ankles. Being mindful of your knees here, not to apply too much pressure. If you're like me, you may notice that one side feels a lot tighter than the other, and that's okay. Again, send the breath to the place of intensity, to the place where the tension is. Inhale is giving it space. Exhale is helping release. Couple more breaths here. Release the ankles, the shins, the knees, whatever you're holding on to, and then let's bring the right foot back down to the ground. And then slide the left ankle over the top of the right knee or the right thigh. Figure 4, and then when you're ready, drape the left foot to the right side of the body, finding a twist. Shoulders are still anchored to the mat. Arms can become a T, or you can use that right hand to prop up the left knee. Connecting again with your breath, just noticing where it's going. Send it to wherever you think would be most helpful, most nourishing. Couple more breaths. Slowly come back through center. Bring both soles of the feet down to the mat. Walk the feet out one last time to be mat width distance apart. And go ahead and windshield wiper your knees. This time pausing anywhere that you need. So maybe draping them very slowly, draping your knees in very slowly. Pausing. Maybe coming back to center, moving the other way and pausing. Great work. Let's go ahead and come back to center. Bring the knees into the chest one last time. Bring your hands to the top of the knees or to the shins. And as you exhale, squeeze your belly, round your spine, bring your forehead close to your knees, making yourself into a tiny little ball, getting all of the air out that you can. And then as you inhale, bring the soles of the feet back down to the mat, and we're gonna make our way to a Shavasana shape. So, Shavasana can take many forms, whatever feels best for you. Option one, traditionally, is legs extended long. You can use any props, bring pillows underneath your knees, blankets underneath your knees. Arms can be wide, palms facing to the ceiling, basically taking up as much space as you want or need. Other options are having your feet mat width distance apart, knees knocking in towards each other. This is a little bit gentler on the lower back. You can have butterfly legs, butterfly feet, or anything, any other shape that feels good for you. Once you find your shape, go ahead and begin to settle. Let your spine melt into the mat, letting the muscles, the vertebrae release and sink into the mat, into the ground. Let the shoulders be heavy. Let all of your bones be heavy. Relax the features on your face, letting go of tension in your jaw, in your lips, letting go of tension in your nose, the space between your eyebrows, the space behind the eyelids. Relax your forehead. Let the back of the head be heavy. We'll be here for a couple of minutes. If your mind begins to wander or become cluttered or busy, gently bring it back to the breath, to the inhales and the exhales. into your body, deepening your breath. Maybe wiggling your fingers, your toes, moving your head from side to side. And taking your time whenever you are ready, bring your knees in towards your chest and just roll over to either side, whichever side feels best or is most convenient. Coming into a fetal position. Gently prop yourself back up to a comfortable seat, keeping your eyes closed if you can. Spine nice and tall, crown of the head pulling towards the ceiling like there's a string attaching it. Take one deep inhale in. Exhale, sigh it out, let it all go. Bring your hands to meet at heart center. Take a moment to silently express something that you're grateful for today. When you are ready, gently open your eyes. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.